Heb jij een link naar mijn presentatie?
Nee.
Moet het even naar HJ telegrammen?
Ja. Deze, ja. Ik wil even configureren hoe het nou moet. Dus je hebt het op.
Mijn presentatie is gewoon web-based, hè?
Ja, oké, mooi.
In principe kan je dit aansluiten.
Andere kant.
Zijn we USB vrij?
Ja.
Okay. Nee, dat is geen USB. Oh, dit is de USB. Oké, continue.
Het keyboard.
Dan zegt hij
Dan heb ik
deze. Huh? Ben je nou je keyboard kwijt?
Dat weet ik niet. Nee, nog niet.
Nee, volgens mij niet. Even kijken.
Oh ja, dat was.
Maar kijk, ik kan dus wel nu hem. Als ik. Komt het computergeluid ook op jouw
Ja. Dus dat moet nog. Ja.
Oh, dat is die zwarte.
Ik kan het even proberen met
Deze dus. Nee, dit geeft al muziek.
Oh ja.
Dat is deze knop, hè?
Ja.
Oh, ik moet hem aanzetten. Sorry, ik moet hem eerst aanzetten. Ja.
Mooi.
Leuk je weer te zijn.
Ja.
Precies. Is dat zo? Ik kan het elkaar niet aflossen, zoals het altijd doet.
Ja, maar het is echt zo.
Welke kanaal? Crypto, ja. Deze. YouTube. 10 minutes. Ja, dat is voor het volgende wordt hier nog even kijken. Dat is het beeld? Ja, nou, hij is klein. Dus, hij is te veel bezig. Hij is helemaal frozen. Oké. Er is geen reload in YouTube, hè? Nee. Wat moet hij nou doen?
Nou, ik ga het nog een keer proberen, maar ik krijg dezelfde boodschap.
Mijn ding is frozen.
Zoom of alles?
Kan niks doen. Het komt uit van dit ding.
Oké. Wat is dat, een dongle? Voor de wifi of zo?
Oh, maar doet het toch?
Ja. Oh, wacht even, ja.
Oh, er hangt iets of zo.
To,
Ja, je mag hem eruit halen.
to annotate. Sales dat lukt. Nee, hij
Gewoon een beetje overlast.
Ja.
Dan op deze tab sluiten voor die balletjes. Nee! Alleen de tab.
Ik kan
Ik kan niet meer naar voren halen.
Ja, deze.
Het is een killer, even het voorstellen. En weer boven de muis te klikken. Even buiten de muis.
Ja,
hij zit op een screens.
ik denk die tab in Chrome is.
Zo gaan. Herstappen.
Ik denk Chrome loopt vast. Waar is je dock? Hier of hier?
blockchain that I know of. Next slide, please. So this picture is maybe when somebody says there's some magic why a car moves, then you can say, well, you know what? I disassembled the car, and these are all the parts. So tell me where the magic is. Which part is magic, or which parts together create this movement? Next slide. That's what I want to. So my question is the blockchain, which is just a database, is that the key of the success of Bitcoin? Next slide. So little recap of how Bitcoin works. Transactions are, you all have read it already and heard it. Transactions are grouped in blocks. There's a block each 10 minutes. The blocks are linked in order. So the information of one block, the previous block is used, also like a fingerprint again, a number is used, it's a yellow line, is used for the next block. So you cannot change the order of the blocks afterwards. And the new block on the right is put on the blockchain is only accepted if it has solved the puzzle, the proof of work concept. So this is really what makes Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies successful. Next slide. So next slide again. So this is a nice picture. So the Bitcoin blocks, if you put them vertically, you can see there's a building that's being built. And each block costs a lot of energy to put on top of the other, in this case, because of this machine, but it's heavy. So with Bitcoin, you burn a lot of electricity. So if you want to change the orange block there, and because the blocks are all linked, you have to effectively remove all the blocks on top and calculate them also anew. And that's very difficult, very expensive. So it now costs about $4,000, maybe $3,000 to make a block by a miner. So all these blocks you have to calculate again just to falsify the history. Let's say you want to change something that happened yesterday with the blockchain. It costs you an enormous amount of money, like billions of dollars. Next slide. And there's also another thing that is really technical, but I think we should go a little bit deeper to understand blockchain and cryptocurrencies and the differences. Bitcoin doesn't store balances. So if you say, I have 4.5 Bitcoin, there's nowhere 4.5 Bitcoin on the blockchain stored for you like a balance, like a total. So what is stored are the transactions. So let's say Peter gets 2.5 Bitcoin of Alice. Okay, as long as Peter has not spent that 2.5 Bitcoin, that's part of his balance. Next slide. So what is Peter's balance on the Bitcoin blockchain? Well, we have to literally go back all the blocks, scan all the blocks. Your wallet does this, so you don't only people that use Bread Wallet, they can see it because it really literally goes scanning the blockchain. But most wallets hide this for you. So, so in January, Peter bought 2.5 Bitcoin. Okay. And in October 2016, he got 0.117 Bitcoin. But those are already spent. So that's not part of his balance. And in February 2017, 2 Bitcoin were added to Peter's wallet, let's say. So Peter has 4.5 Bitcoin. But we can only know that's very important, by scanning the whole blockchain from block 1, 2009, January. There's nowhere 4.5 Bitcoin on Peter's address. And why this is important, if you want, let's say there's a government and it says, I want to confiscate 4.5 Bitcoin that Peter possesses. If Bitcoin had balances like Ethereum has, by the way, I'm told, you can easily change the balance. You say, okay, 4.5, it's much easier. It's just changing one number. But here, you must change all the blocks starting from January 2015, from the first receiving of this address that got a Bitcoin. If you want to, by force, change the balance, you have to change everything. So the people that know about Ethereum and the DOA attack, split, they changed some balances of the people that took advantage of the bugs in this DOA script. It never could have happened with this system of Bitcoin. But Ethereum has balances. It's much easier, but this is much easier to alter afterwards because everything is written in history. Okay, so that maximizes the proof of work. So if you imagine this building, you have to almost break down the whole building and calculate each block again if you want to change history of somebody who got Bitcoin early. Yes? Okay, another thing, so Bitcoin is immutable and Bitcoin is unstoppable. And why is that? Because it's peer-to-peer. There's no central server, no central point, no central organization. There are thousands of servers, like ants, like an ant colony, working together. And you know, if you kill a few ants, the colony still lives on and does its thing. Same with Bitcoin system. You can, I think, kill 90% of Bitcoin servers, shut down, and Bitcoin still runs. Next slide. So in the blockchain technology world, we have permissioned ledgers. That's another marketing term for blockchain technology. So we have the shared database, and in contrast of Bitcoin, where everybody can join, everybody can, without registering somewhere, you can download the wallet and you can join, or you can download Bitcoin mining software, and if you have a heavy computer, you can start mining without filling in a form or asking approval from someone. Permissioned ledgers are different, so they are business solutions that where a set of companies that want to work together want to share a database with, okay, that's not a bad idea, I think. Next slide. So if you want to have one database with one truth, as we call it, or consensus, and you have no mining, you must have another mechanism. So I really searched for how do these systems, these ledgers, how do they propose them? So what's the magic? So Hyperledger has a page, and you really have to search it deep down. It's not on the home page. You really have to search on the FAQ, etc. Drill down on the website, and then finally they say, well, you could have proof of work like Bitcoin, but that's not so useful for us. So we have a plug-in model. You can plug in different consensus algorithms, consensus algo. So one is dev mode, which is that does nothing for developers. Then we have proof of elapsed time. And what is that? That's a secret part of the Intel chip. I'm not making this up. This is really what you can find. Intel has proposed a part in the chip, and it's like a random generator. It's a part of a chip that waits a random amount of time. So it simulates the puzzle of Bitcoin, which takes time without the energy spending. Sounds like a nice idea, but you have to you have to trust Intel, and they don't show the computer source code is not open source. And it really is just a random, it's like throwing a dice. So I don't see how this gives protection, but this is really what Hyperledger, touted by IBM, by the way, big proponent of Hyperledger. This is what they say about consensus. So it really, I'm amazed that this is all there is. I cannot see how this could work. Next slide. And my main point is that Bitcoin consensus, no, the Bitcoin consensus mechanism is not just an algorithm, it's not just code. So you cannot plug it in and change it for other code. And that's I think the error people make. They think, well, you have word processor, Word, Microsoft Word, you can change that for whatever, Word Perfect. But the consensus algorithm of Bitcoin is really an invention, or a discovery, maybe a mathematical discovery. There's only one solution, I think. So it's code, yes, it's a piece of software, but it's also an incentive. People want to mine because they want to make profit. And there's also costs involved, real costs. You have to spend a lot of energy. So it's not just code, it's also real world money involved in making this consensus work. And there's game theory already also in Bitcoin. That means I'm a miner. I can, I have a powerful computer to mine. I can do two things. I can try to be dishonest and make a transaction of Bitcoin to myself, 1,000 Bitcoin. But the other one, miners will not accept that, so it has no use. So I can better be honest if I have this power. That's a game theory that forces everybody to be honest, not because for a moral high attitude, but just because in the end you want to earn money. So if you remove B and C, I think, the incentive and the costs and the game theory, you have just, what do you have? You have a little bit of code, and you could as well use a distributed database from Oracle or something like that. I'm convinced. Next slide. So my conclusions, rounding off. Bitcoin works because the proof of work and the UTXO, so the old history all in your balance, make the proof of work extra heavy. There's profit seeking of the miners and the game theory. So nowhere is the word blockchain in there to show how Bitcoin works. I haven't used the word blockchain in these things. Blockchain is just a data structure, a log file where everything is written down. Next slide.
Hier is de presentatie. Nee, hier is de live.
So I think I will make a big bet. Publish a bet.
Yeah.
I thought of big whiskey bottle of $200 or something. I will bet that Bitcoin, blockchain technology or permission ledgers, they will fade away. After 1 or 2 years from now, we'll say, okay, we're all, we had a crazy idea, it sounded good, but it's a non-starter. That's my opinion. There's no advantage of blockchain technology over a distributed database like Oracle or IBM or whatever Microsoft provides. Next slide, please. I do think there will be applications for storing data in blockchains, in the blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain or another successful cryptocurrency. There's already a project I like very much called Binded. It's basically, if you take pictures, you can tweet your picture to Binded, and then there's automatically this picture is stored in a database, and the fingerprint of the picture is stored in the blockchain of Bitcoin. So you can prove that you are the first one who had this picture, so probably you're the creator of this picture. Because a Bitcoin transaction is expensive, what they do is they collect all images of 24 hours and maybe a few thousand images, and then they put together all the fingerprints in a total data structure, fingerprints of fingerprints, a Merkle treacle, and you can afterwards always prove that your fingerprint of your picture was in that one transaction, in that fingerprint of that day. So I like it very much because it's very open, everybody can join without registering. You just tweet your picture, and the picture is, this fingerprint is just put into the blockchain. And how do they earn money? Well, you can also apply for a real copyright protection with the US government agency. And then they get a little fee. So I like it because it works, it's open, it works with Bitcoin blockchain, and there's no blah blah. Another, the use cases are limited, I think, of putting things in the blockchain. And why is that? Like land registry or notary functions. Because our world is complex. And everything in the end, when you have a dispute, you put something in the blockchain, this house is mine, and somebody else said, no, this house is mine. I say, I point to the blockchain, I say, but look in the blockchain, there was a transaction, the house is mine. In the end, you will have to go to court. And the judge will have to allow the thing that is written in the blockchain, or a blockchain, as proof. So we are not there yet, but Roland will go into more details about the real uses and the problems it uses of using a blockchain as a public ledger. Next slide. Oh, that is binded, by the way. So you get the automatic certificate with your name, address, this fingerprint of the picture, and that's all stored. You know that the fingerprint is stored in the Bitcoin blockchain. Okay, fourth conclusion, buy some Bitcoin today, and thank you. I think because of the time, maybe people want to protest or kill me or whatever during the thing follows, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, okay. One more thing. Kunnen we de andere microfoon proberen? Ja. Geweldige presentatie. Ja. Kijk, deze moet dan in...
Kan niet met Mac werken.
Deze moet wel. Hij moet in...
Hallo.
Linux, ja.
Die ding is eruit. USB-stick.
Ja, die zit hier.
Oh.
Dus hij moet line in...
Het is wel op PowerPoint gemaakt, maar dat zal wel werken zeker. Ik heb ook mijn eigen laptop mee als technoloog.
Wordt... Probeer het nog eens. Deze kan achter jou komen. Hallo.
Ja, de USB-stick zit erin. Ik weet niet waar die... Ja, het zou moeten werken. Hè. Ja, daar. 4A. Nice. Ja, en dan de smart contract. Die dan die
Omzetten in... Ja, dat gaat hij omzetten in Keynote.
hopelijk werkt het. En anders, ik heb mijn eigen laptop mee ook. Dus als het echt nodig is...
Oh, dat is misschien wel niet eens goed.
Je staat al aan, dus we gaan onmiddellijk switchen.
Heb je animations erin?
Verschijnen gewoon. Dus we should see. Dus een paar animaties, maar niet echt speciaal. Doe maar, ik kan niet... Ja. Oké, ik ga gewoon even... Ja, het zal wel zien. Dat werkt, en anders switchen. Het zal wel werken. Dus vooruit, achteraan. Oké. Dan even checken wat werkt. Ja, dat werkt. Als je wil, ga ik via in het begin zal ik het zelf doen, maar daarna zal ik het zeggen, want in het begin is het ik heb het een beetje geanimeerd.
Waarom zou het uit? Ja.
Maar ik zal wel zeggen, maar als het niet meer aankomt, zal ik wel goed aanzetten.
Ja, het gewoon zeggen. Hier, maximum nog. Hallo, hallo. Hallo.
Ja?
Nee, maar
Deze staat op max.
deze toch?
Ja. Hier staat ook op max. Nee? Die staat wel aan.
Ja.
Ja.
Ja, je zei ook wat je...
Ja, input was goed.
Je ziet hem ook bewegen, dus...
Ja.
Hallo, ja. Hij zei... Luister het geluid niet door naar de... Lijkt me op de loop zit het geluid niet.
Ja.
Wel, ja. De microfoon staat uit.
Goeie, zo op het connectie.
Deze. Dus ik moet wel via die microfoon.
Het is er nog. Oké, hoe dat lukt. Ik ga vandaag. Werkt het geluid goed? Ja. Ik ga vandaag iets proberen kort zeggen, want we hebben al een deel van de uitleg gehad. Over het nut van smart contracts. Of ze effectief wel. English. I'm sorry. I'll switch. So today I will explain something about smart contracts and about the usefulness of it and if they are actually really smart. So let's start with the definition. No, I'm not going to read it. You don't need to read it as well. But I want to show that Nick Szabo, which is a famous Bitcoin dev, came up with it in 1996. So it's pre-Bitcoin. And well, why wasn't it implemented yet? Because it's boring? No, not necessarily. But there are some limitations, and I will show some of them in this presentation. So, smart contracts. What can they do? They are self-executing. So, you have a code that executes something. And what makes it exciting is Turing completeness for some. What is Turing completeness? We can code anything. That's the idea. But what makes it even more exciting is blockchain, which means that we can run the contract, we can run the code on a censorship and resistant and immutable network, which means that in theory, the code can't be reversed, can't be changed, and the contract will work. And the result should be that no third party is needed to execute it. That's exciting. That's not boring. Sorry. So the first project that proposed smart contracts was Ethereum, but soon after a lot others followed, and we saw a boom in possible applications. Now the question is: are they all feasible? Are they all possible? Useful? I'm not sure. Let's explore them. So I listed 5 issues that are real issues, I think, with smart contracts. And I start with some big ideas on what smart contracts could do, and I will narrow it down to something that, in my opinion, is useful. So let's start. The first one was already touched upon in the previous presentation, and that's real-world assets. So that means, well, if you want to buy or rent a car, the blockchain can't force you to hand over a car to someone else. So although the payment is made, maybe for the rent or for the purchase, it's not possible to just enforce that through the blockchain. Courts are needed for that. If you don't disagree with certain things happening in the contract, you can't do that through the blockchain. So to solve that issue, well, basically the only option is to have something called an escrow agent, which is an arbiter that's in the contract, programmed in the contract. So we have maybe 3 parties in the contract. We have the buyer, the seller, and the arbiter or the escrow. And it's a technology called multisig, and you need 2 of 3 keys to execute the payment. So, for example, if I'm not happy and I'm the buyer with the product I received, then I can go to the arbiter and say, I want my money back, or I want a part of my money back. And then the arbiter can agree with me, and then I get a part back, and the other part will go back to the original seller. Or if the seller and I agree that the service was perfect, we can just both sign, and the arbiter doesn't need to do anything. So this is basically a contract, but it's also possible on Bitcoin. So I don't think we need some kind of Turing-complete smart contract platform for that. So let's narrow it down again. Trusted nodes. That's my second issue. So there's an example, like some people say, I'm not going to name names, but it has a lot of A's in his name. He has publicly said that smart contract platforms can do unstoppable things, and you can run darknet markets on it. So you want to run a website or something on a blockchain. So that's a lot of data. How we do that? Well, first of all, you need to figure out, we're running all that data in the blockchain. So you need to figure out, well, is the data I'm receiving from a certain node in the network real? Is that the real data? And why should that guy host that data? The hosting part may be solved with something like payment channels. I'm now talking a bit more technical for the people who are already into Bitcoin a lot, but with payment channels, it could maybe be possible to like stream payments to the guy donating his data to me. So if he's like broadcasting the website, I'm visiting the website, I pay the guy while I'm visiting the website, and the guy is sending me all the data needed to view the website. So that's maybe possible. But then there's the problem, well, is the data I'm receiving from that guy the most up-to-date data? Is it the real data? Maybe he changed the payment address on the market, so I may be paying to a different address. The only way to check that is to check back at the original node, the node that created the contract, created the website. But what are we doing then? Then we are trusting nodes, but actually we aren't, but because we need to check back when it's about payments. So in my opinion, it's not really useful to use smart contract platform for that. There's something more interesting, like the internet itself is pretty decentralized. You can just run a server and run a website on that. And if you don't want that the government stops it, well, run it behind Tor or run it on I2P. And then if you're clever with your operation security, then, well, the government won't take it down. So the internet itself is already pretty decentralized. You don't need a smart contract platform for that. The third issue, oracles. So I have a small example, something called a binary option, which means I'm betting that by the end of the year, the euro will be below $1. And another guy, my counterparty, says, well, I think it will stay above. And we finalize that in a contract, and we say, well, if I win, I get 10 ether from you. If you win, you get 10 ether from me. Okay, let's do that. But the thing is, the exchange rate is not data in the blockchain. We can't extract that. So we need to ping a website, an IPA or something to get that data. That's called an oracle. We need to trust a point in the network, but not in the peer-to-peer network. We need to trust a website or something that he's giving me accurate data. Why is that a problem? Well, if I'm trusting that guy to give me accurate data, and, well, let's say I say it will drop below $1, and it's 31st of December, and it didn't drop below $1, then I can go to that guy and say, hey, can you make a data error for just a second and make it drop below $1, and then give it just a normal exchange rate again. And I'll pay you 5 ether from the 10 I will receive because it dropped below $1 for a second. And the contract will execute because we programmed it like that. Then I will receive the 10 ether. I pay the guy 5 to help me get it. And, well, he's not accountable. Maybe that guy who gave me the data is anonymous. The website is maybe anonymous. Or if we want to trust NASDAQ or something to provide the data, well, that's possible, but still hacks can appear and something like that. So it's really reinventing the wheel again. There are already systems where you can do binary options, and it's much more regulated, and fraud is really minimized because, well, those guys behind those websites are companies, and you can accuse them of fraud and so on. If you're doing it on a blockchain, I'm not really sure about that. So how I could see this working, you could do something like you have a company with a registered company number and so on. You can sue, and he can, that company, and I showed now a guy in the middle there. That guy, well, receives a ping from his data source, and he checks, well, this data is actually correct. Then he hits a button, and then the transaction goes through with a multisig, like I was saying before. So if you put a company in between that everybody can trust, then the system can work. But again, you're not doing all that stuff in the blockchain itself, in the smart contract itself. It's a script outside of the blockchain on a server with a trusted company behind it. And the only thing that's programmed in the blockchain is the multisig. So it's something, it's a small program, but it's also possible on Bitcoin. You don't need Ethereum for that, or some other smart contract platform. So the next issue is scaling. A lot has already been said about that, but for example, a gambling app, which was already known in Bitcoin. Satoshi dies, you could gamble on the blockchain. So you send some Bitcoin to a certain address of that company. And if you won or lost, you get a transaction back, either with your winnings or just an acknowledgement of your loss. But the problem is a lot of transactions, that's not really possible. We already saw scaling problems in Bitcoin, and they already exist in Ethereum as well, because transactions aren't free. And it would, of course, be cool to decentralize it, decentralize everything. But, and this is a quote from Chris Rose, I think, the universe doesn't owe you a free decentralized transactions. It's impossible. So we need to take into account scaling as well. And then the last one is a very funny one, I think. It's miner incentives. I know some miners. And they told me, well, all those ICOs are very cool because we earn extra on that. If you have a very capped ICO, then those miners, if you have good connections with miners, you can get your transactions in first, and then you will take up the whole ICO with your friends, and everybody else is too late. So they can do that. There's also proposals for decentralized trading market. So if you imagine, well, all those assets in the blockchain, which isn't external data like Ethereum or ICO tokens, you can all imagine that's functioning on the blockchain. You can maybe think, well, you can do something with that. We can create an order book exchange, bid side and ask side and so on. But you need to think a bit further. If you see a certain amount of transactions coming in, unconfirmed, for the sell, all sales of a certain token because some news happened. And you own a few of those as a miner as well, and you can dump them first and then confirm the transactions after them. So you have front running by miners. It's already happening in the ICO space, and I don't think an order book exchange is a good idea on a decentralized network. So something that could help is atomic swaps. That's also something that's possible in Bitcoin, but that's not needed to do during complete smart contract. It's a system to, like, you have a certain token of this, a certain token of that, and you can just swap it. But that's, well, you can't build an order book exchange with that. So the only thing you can do is I say to you, I have some of this, you have some of that, let's just switch. That you can do. So that's peer-to-peer, but that's not an order book exchange. So yeah, this is behind the picture. But I think a centralized exchange is the only way forward for order book exchanges. And peer-to-peer trading can be done with atomic swaps. So my conclusion, basically, if you want to do things trustless, that means no data outside of the blockchain, then you can do dump contracts. So the small ones I explained, like multisig and atomic swaps, payment channels is another one.
If you want to do things which requires trust, then you will probably use something I call, I've coined the term smart script, which means you run a script on an external server and you have an escrow agent bridging the gap between the server and the blockchain. And examples of Bitcoin dump contracts are the multi-sig lock time, which enables payment channels, and atomic swaps. So in my opinion, there's no real need for smart contract platforms. That's basically my presentation. And let's see in a few years who is right, I guess, because there will probably be a lot of believers here of those coins I mentioned at the start. That's it.
Thank you, Roland. I think you forgot to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my credentials are there.
Okay, but all the way 2 hours from Ghent.
Yes.
So thank you, Roland, for your presentation and coming all the way over to us. Now we have a pause, 20 minutes, so let's say 9:30. What is it, 9? We come back here, okay? So the drinks are relocated to the tribune there. Thank you.
Oké. Goed.
Nou, dat is 3 dingen.
Heb je de mensen even?
Over 5. Over 5. Ja, dan wil het ook.
En nu is best deze. Ja. Dit is de tresor. Wie is deze? Dit is van mij. Maar het is leeg.
Ruikt op de audiotafelgang. Weet je wat een audiovisual is?
Nee, er viel al een glas water op. Ze ging onder de elektriciteit door. Dankjewel.
Mensen dingen kunnen gebeuren. Ik denk dat hij wat weggaat.
Ja. Nee, het gaat boven de pet. Nee.
Ja, presentatie kan je deze op deze.
Ik ga een bollet laten zien.
Wil ik geen
Dan
laten
moet je
zien?
synchroon over, dan kijk ik er gewoon bij. Maar die oké.
Die heb ik al.
Ja, goed zo.
Ik weet niet of je nog internet maakt.
Oké, en hij komt mee. Dank je.
Ja, whatever. Ik sta op de film. Ik sta er niet op de film.
Ja.
Ja? Word ik uitgezonden?
Ja, live.
Waar dan? Leef
Ja, heel veel. Maar je hebt geluk.
Ik ben al uitgezonden.
Ja.
Wat komt er nu? De binnenwoning.
Hard wallet. Is de hard wallet? Heb je ook een presentatie? Ja. Die staat. Oké. Maar kan ik dat volgen? Want ik wil het graag volgen. De twee voetjes afzetten. Dat is ook zoom. Het is een applicatie voor video. Ik heb dit aan mijn laptop. Nee, dat is zo. Ik ben er gewoon vanuit gegaan. Maar eens even kijken. Ja, dat is goed. Alright. Ik ga juist ja, is goed. Jij doet je ding. Ik probeer hier nog wat. Oké, top. Dan ben ik hierna Henk of niet?
Ja.
Oh, dat is fijn. Mijn relaties gaan weg.
Ja.
Ze vonden het te technisch.
Ja.
Dat vind ik wel jammer, want ik ga nu eigenlijk iets laten zien wat niet technisch is.
Ja, wat ik anders doe. Dus kijk, controleer je niet meer.
Ik stuur een beeld door met een link naar de Zoom. Dus kan Gmail en vertellen. En er zit een link in wat je deelnemer in mijn Zoom. En dan kan wat hier op dit scherm gebeurt, kan ik oppakken.
Deze.
Zover. Ja. Sorry, moet ik? Ja. Waarom? Ja, als het lukt, dat kan.
Jij hebt 100%? Ja.
Ja.
Ik wil even. Oh, half, dus nog een kwartier.
Een kwartier? Oké.
Nou ja, dit werkt wel. Dit is een soort deelnemer, attendant. En die ziet alleen maar dit. Dus
Oké, maar die YouTube-link werkt wel. Misschien werkt het alleen met streaming en YouTube. Het is niet een meeting die je kan joinen.
ik moet het zelf eens een keer uitproberen. Je hebt ook een presentatie?
Ja, als het dit is, kan ik Chromium gebruiken. Of ja, Safari kan ook. En dan wil ik gewoon 3 pagina's op het scherm hebben en dan ben ik klaar voor de presentatie. Ja, dus kan ik deze.
Misschien ken je de... Oh ja.
Oké, dus ik moet deze hebben.
Ik laat je zien.
Deze. En deze. Ja. En nu met deze window ben ik klaar.
Oké.
Als hij komt ooit binnen, maar dit is de wallet.
Ja. Die links moet ik ook hebben. Dus,
Even scan.
Exit full screen. En dan... Dus je laat die outchain poll zien. Ja. Hier. Dus ja, die... ik heb 3 scan met de private sales site, met dat enorme beginnen. En de Etherscan van de wallet en onze G-sheet. Dus als je wilt dat als backup hebben. Ik moet even die G-sheet hebben, want daar staan ook belangrijke links op. Weet je, als je een browser opent, kan ik die 3 links onmiddellijk ophalen. Hier, ik heb hier de Ethereum blockchain van de hele blockchain, van de private sale. Ja. En hier van de pool. Ja, dat is perfect. Ja. En hoe oud is dit? Deze tab, een dag of zo? Hij is van 28 september. Ah, oké. Dus private sale is ook. Je kunt dan zien, je kunt even heen klikken eventueel. Ja. Dan kun je zien of er nog meer bij komt. Ja, dus ik kan het even doen. Dus de laatste is 6,6 meter. Ja, klopt. En die staat er nog niet bij. 6,6 eten. Nou, Robert zegt het. Geen beeld, alleen geluid, af en toe even beeld. Dus ja, ik loop niet helemaal in streaming, maar goed, de snelheid van de internet gaat dan via mijn mobiel. Oh, oké. Ja, we moeten en hier is de Hague Tech. Shit. Ja. Met guest. Kies wie. Die video nog even kunt laten zien. Oké, dus. Maar je hebt een verbinding, maar het is niet sterk. Maar wel, hij is niet zo sterk. Hij doet het wel. Hij komt nu binnen op dat verbinding, hè? Ja. Maar dit doet dus niet. Oh ja, nu kan ik hem weer inpluggen. Ja, dat gaat dus niet, hè? Dat is toch idioot. Line out. Dat betekent wel.
Oh ja, ik wou graag op deze computer straks. Maar jij zit in een andere browser of niet?
Ja, dus ik heb een andere window geopend. Ik ga die window gebruiken.
Ik zit wel.
Wel, nu doet hij het niet.
Dit weet ik zelf.
Oké, we hebben heel veel windows open. Dus.
Ga je dan weg 50 even?
Ja, ik denk dat we worden interessante informatie over
Oké. Ik had nog wel een treasure gehad. Treasure. Ja,
Nee, ik heb letter.
ja.
Iedereen heeft al een idee over.
Ja, ik kan er eigenlijk wel zitten. Ik ben een fan van treasure. Er is ook een letter bij me.
Ja.
Ik heb hem 1 keer gebruikt, gewoon om te testen. Dat is heel handig. Ja, ik vind het beter. Oké, dat was ook zo. Dan moet je met ja, en het versie hebt. Ja.
Maar ja, vaak moet je erin vanaf gaan.
Het versie ook nog. Ik kom elke keer niks een doosje voor de staat.
Nou ja, ik heb.
Hij is helemaal gesloten in het pak. Ik heb ook even nog eens, maar dit is echt gewoon een beetje mee eens. Ja,
Ik heb geen sound output. Hij pikt er niet op.
Met deze ding. Of,
Dus ik denk dat er iets mee mis is.
Scalable and safe.
Ja, ik weet niet waarom hier zoveel schermen open staan eigenlijk. Er staan echt 100.000 schermen open.
Ja.
Ja, dus gewoon maak ik nou
Control D, ja. Bing, bing, bing.
maak ik nu wordt niet meer
Ja, whatever.
Ik heb sound out.
ik doe niks toch?
Dus ik wil deze ook nog proberen.
Nu ben ik bijna aan mijn punt. Hoe kan ik hem dat maakt het niet uit.
Het is al gemirrored. Bedoel je dat? Of,
Ja, doe het zo. Het zo. Fullscreen?
nou, hij is fullscreen, kijk.
Je ziet de tapjes.
Wel, misschien kan je Control F of zo. Ja, en je fullscreen. Option.
Ga ik eruit. Oh, dit is goed. Ja.
Even testen.
Nou ja, ik heb niks meer nodig.
Hallo, hallo.
Control command of control F.
Hallo, hallo.
Ja. Dit is van.
Hallo, hallo, hallo.
Oké.
Shit.
Dat ik dan een verhaal vrij was.
Hallo, hallo.
Zo later.
Maar goed, ik heb...
Is het nou drukker dan normaal? Ja, normaal 25 of zo. Van de media. Ja, ik zat net
smart contracts.
Ja. Dus ik is wel goed om deze discussie te gebruiken.
Eerst even wat?
Deze film.
The current blockchain.
Oké. Het is lekker weer de attentie.
Oké, dus ga je deze computer gebruiken voor de presentatie?
Ja, die.
Oké.
En ik probeer het te volgen met de links.
Oké. Dus dat moet je opzetten in Safari of Chrome. Deze is van Robert en deze window wil hij houden. Ja, we kunnen een nieuwe window maken en een andere ding hierop zetten.
Oké. En als je zelf hier ziet,
Ja,
dan haal ik even een bier op.
hartstikke. Mij kan ik uit. Ja. Ja,
Zo, ben je ook nog eens drinken?
ik heb een glas van platschoenen.
Water?
Ja, water met citroen. Oké.
Ja, het ging meer om bier of zo.
Nee, hier water wel.
Heb je al een aanneming voor?
Deze.
Ja,
Je bent als je het overmaakt, moet je vanaf het beste overmaken van jou is. Je kan het allemaal doen. Maar zo zien we het ik weet het. Bij de way, Kit, hoe lang? Je zit echt nog maar 4 uur?
Stel ik wil meedoen. Stel ik wil meedoen, ik heb net van hem gekeken. Ik vind dat wel interessant.
Wanneer gaan jullie het doen? Ik heb jouw window verloren, dus... dat is de beste van jou.
Dus ik heb deze gekeken. Is het RJ?
RJ, ja. Zit je in RJ?
Ja.
Ja.
Telegram.
Ik ga een welkom posten.
Gewoon één en zo. Ja, precies. Er is er dus nog plek ook in.
Ja, werk zou je zeggen.
Oké.
Voor ons, ja. Als wij 15 miljoen dus wat ik proberen hier plakken. Nu heb je hem. En hierboven, hierboven kun je een link naar deze pagina. Dit is in feite dat link, dit is de wallet. En hier zijn de transacties, dus iemand heeft net de verleden wat en dan ook in deze kanaal is weer zou je een switch en iedereen die heeft
Ingeschreven, die staat erin.
iedereen die heeft de link mag krijgen en de link staat met
Daar kun je kijken, en het is niet helemaal op de tv, maar deze man stelt bekend. Maar als je voor dit ernaast, ETA, wat je wilt, hier is daar.
Maar wat is interessant om te doen? 3, 4 eten, 1 eter, een half uur. Maakt dat echt wel wat je wil. Ja. Ja, precies. Ja. En dan heb je dan krijg je dan dus een artje. Dan krijg je eten aan de artje. En je het aan de muur. Ja.
Artje stuurt Ross terug naar
ja, dit zijn ja. Oh ja, ja. Maar dan heb je dan een rollen nodig, of het kan gewoon in de ether rollen. Het is niet gebaseerd op die ERC's.
Het is gebaseerd op.
Zullen we beginnen? Mijn vriend.
Ja, ik bedoel die RC.
Hij kent ze.
Maar het lijkt niet. Ja, gewoon maar iets.
Ja, ik had.
Nee.
Ga niet vergeten. Je bent dan sponsor mee, had ik niet voor ieder praatje reclame maken. Met mijn money reclame. Nee, ik was niet inloggen, maar ik heb hieronder gegevens staan van mensen die. Ik wil dadelijk een storting doen, maar ik ga wel even vertellen wie ik ben. Het oudste 90 van. Die kost het dadelijk doen. Ja, het is goed.
We gaan er vandoor, hoor. We spreken iemand, denk ik. Ja, het is maar ik kan wel niet bij zie je.
Oké, mooi.
HJ, wordt het audiovisuele?
Ja. Ja, ik weet het niet.
Ik zei, jij niet gehaald.
Ik heb het weer daar gaan kijken.
Oké, dus.
Maar kan ik ook dit microfoontje opdoen of niet?
Sorry?
Kan ik dit microfoontje ook opdoen? Of liever niet?
Nou, het werkt niet.
Oh, oké.
Wel als hier stopt, toch?
Oh ja, dat zou wel moeten werken. Ja.
Kan ik wel lopen ook?
Je kunt er lopen.
Oh ja. Ik wil eigenlijk mijn dingen laten zien, dus dat is wel handig.
Ja.
Handig vrij.
Dus hij is al aan. Je kunt hem opdoen.
Doorheen laten vallen.
Het gaat helemaal goed. Ik ga het weer lopen.
Vind ik al zo goed. Heb je het geluid af? Zo sexy geluid. Ja, het is het eerste. Een hele goede. Is het zo goed? Ik kan hier nog hoog. Hallo. Ja? Ja, het is.
The current blockchain platforms are inspirational, but have design problems. They lack formal semantics, and as a result, they're slow, they don't scale, and
Oké, meisjes en jongens, we gaan verder. Ik wil graag aandacht voor Robert Rein de Nederhoek. En voor degenen die hem niet kennen, hij is ondernemer hier in Den Haag. Hij heeft een heuse bitcoin en cryptocurrency firma. Meerdere zelf. Eigenlijk een serial entrepreneur. Ben ik ook, alleen ik ben nog maar niet verder dan mijn eerste bedrijf gekomen.
Ja, mensen, goedenavond. We gaan nu beginnen.
Robert Reijnder is ook sponsor, dus graag een dubbel warm applaus voor Robert Reijnder.
Dank jullie wel. Ben ik goed verstaan?
Ja hoor.
Oké, we gaan het vanavond gewoon proberen.
Ik ben 5 jaar geleden met Bitcoin in aanraking gekomen, vrij direct verslaafd geraakt. Een jaar later mijn baan opgezegd en Bit My Money begonnen. Daar ga ik zo heel klein beetje van laten zien, omdat het hoort bij de presentatie ook. Wat misschien leuk is om te zeggen, dat we in 2015 hebben... Ja? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, good point. Sorry. My name is Robert. I came in contact with Bitcoin in 2012, 5 years ago. I got hooked, and 1 year later I cancelled my job and started my own company, which is Bit My Money. I'm going to show that in a minute. Then 1.5 years ago, yeah. We combined blockchain and real estate, which is called the landlords, and we use the Bitcoin blockchain with the string in the Bitcoin transaction with Pollet Coin protocol. This is technical, but ownership can be transferred the way Henk described. It is live, but next year it's still being built, but we have 3 apartments on it at this moment and about 140 owners of the 3. So it's working, but that's not about this. That was just not for today. I brought 3 hardware wallets. Well, this is the cheapest one, and I'm going to just hold them up. This is the Bitbox. It's very fancy. It's very basic. It's about 25 euros, I think, and it does not do much more than. Oh no! Does anybody know what a hardware wallet is? Who knows what a hardware wallet is? Okay, so that's better. That's like. This is a centralized company. This is a website with vulnerabilities and boo. So if you're starting with Bitcoin, you'll run into people who tell you you should own your own Bitcoins, which I agree with. But if you want to own your own Bitcoins, you have to install software, get some technical basics, security basics right. So we started this for people to use email address ideal to start with Bitcoin. But with some risk because you trust us with your Bitcoins. But you can send the Bitcoins to your own wallet, and you can, even if you own quite some Bitcoins, choose to use a hardware wallet, which is a dedicated device, like a USB stick, like this, which is guaranteed secure. Only you can use it because it's physically in your hands. So with an app on your mobile, you're not sure if it's that secure. So this is the most extreme form of it. Well, no, the most extreme form is paper wallets, but that's not very practical. So
brain wallets. Brain wallets.
Brain wallets, yeah. Well, let's not get into that. But this is quite handy, and I'm gonna tell you a bit about it. So this is the cheapest one. You can just slide in a small SD card, and then you can do something and have a guaranteed private key that is your wallet. I'm not going to demo it. Well, that's because I'm a bit more of a fan of the present, which I'll get to later. This is a ledger, and I know some people in this room own a ledger. I'm not too enthusiastic about the ledger, but I can't say too much about it because I'm not that active a user of it. But this is quite a bit more user-friendly because it has a small display. So if you're going to install your own private key or initiate it so you have your own wallet, it will tell you how to initiate, and you can say yes, no, some codes. Who's enthusiastic about the ledger? I mean, who owns a ledger? So that's I'm not a ledger basher. I mean, this is secure, this is good, but I'm not a user, so I can't tell you a lot about it. I am a big fan of the Trezor, and I thought let's show tonight in a few minutes why. Yes.
Why are you not fan of the Nano S?
Why?
Yeah,
well, okay. So I used it once, and I've used this one for a few years. Well, not this one, but you know what I mean. And I got a bit irritated by having to slide the PIN code to enter just to enter my wallet. So that's basically the only objection I have. So I'm saying I don't want to bash the lecture because it's a secure product, but I'm not a user, so I'm not going to demo it. That's a bit more fair. Actually, I brought two trestles, so I would like to, if somebody can come up with a way to like verloten, somebody can have this one, but I'm not. So at the end of the presentation, I don't know, maybe think of something.
But you didn't install some ransomware on there.
It's sealed. It's fresh. So
You have to guess a word. I have the word in my head.
we'll come to that later. So I actually opened it, closed it, opened it, closed it. I tried to keep it intact. It didn't work, but you get a lot of stuff. For example, you get stickers. You get this nice welcome note. Dear product user.
The unboxing.
The unboxing, yeah. Oh. This is the Treasure, just the old one. So there's a new version with a big screen, and this one. Okay, so this one is 25 euros. This one is about 35 to 40 euros. This one is 90 euros. So it comes at a price. The usability.
Who owns the Treasure here? Who owns the Treasure? Almost more than us. What is more secure than Treasure or the Nano?
I think they're. I don't know. I think they're both.
Well, the Treasure was recently
I can't answer that. Okay, so the new one has a bigger display, like a color display, and it's more like a thing you know from its length. I really like this one, so I didn't even order a new one. And I would like to demo how you can use it. And I had that much faith in the Treasure that I didn't even bring my own computer to demo it. And luckily, it did work on the app. So okay, so you can't see what's on this screen, but let's think. Okay, so this is one thing I find very fancy. They have this dial grid of 9 digits, so you can't see it here. But the grids on the small display, can I just maybe? Oh, you can make it and show it. Yeah, that's good. So there's a very small grid on it, and I have a pin code in my mind.
This is the display.
But this display is shuffled each time I use the Treasure. So I have to look at this one, and I think, okay, I need to. So I did it very easy. So now here goes my pin code. So I have to.
So this is for preventing keyloggers. So little virus programs that could be on your computer that logs the PIN code that you enter. So now you just point with your mouse and click.
Oh yeah.
So keyloggers cannot copy the PIN.
Exactly. So you saw this 9 digits, and then I had to enter my PIN on the blank digits with the ones that were shown on the screen on the small display. And each time my PIN code will be the same, but the place of the digits will change, which is very fancy. And now it says, well, some action this is new for me. If I want to enable labeling of addresses, I say, well, confirm. I opened this book yesterday evening, and I installed, sent myself 25 euros in Bitcoin. Whoa. Where's the transaction?
Maybe some clarification, Olga, if you don't mind.
Yes.
So the wallet is web-based, correct?
Excellent. Yes.
Yep. And the hardware wallet, hardware device, just contains private key.
Yes.
Private keys.
So each wallet, if we talk about the Bitcoin wallet, The Bitcoin wallet doesn't hold the Bitcoins. It holds the keys to the addresses where the Bitcoins kind of were sent to, so you can make a transaction and spend them. So now this computer will never know the private keys that are in this small device, because the computer, the website, is you could say centralized, but the website does know nothing, knows nothing from my secure, vulnerable private keys. It will just make a transaction and ask the device to sign it with the private key. Is that too technical? Maybe. So if I were to send money, oh shit! Oh, yeah, sorry. So I logged in with some account, deposit to have an address. I'm going to do this twice, once from the laptop and once from my mobile, also using the Trezor. So this address, can anybody tell me what this is? So it's a Bitcoin address. So it's with, of course, you know what it is, I think, but anybody can know that address, but they don't know it's my address. Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Now, I won't use the comment. I think the comment is only for Trezor, but I'm not sure about that. This could also be the data user. Well, let's say, I don't know, €2.5. So economy. Does anybody not know what this is? The high priority economy. So that's I can choose the fee to pay to the miners to process my transaction. No, low is smaller than economy. So it's low is 30 cents, euro cents. And I hope if I open the account and then I'll say, okay, send the money. Okay, maybe you can take a picture again.
Or I read.
So now, oh, it's also on the screen. So the screen on the Trezor shows also this information, and then I have to say yes or no on the device. And if you're using a web wallet, what could happen is that some plugin, browser plugin, would swap this address with a hacker's Bitcoin address. And then if I were to send it to this address, the hacker would receive my 250 instead of me. So this is very valuable because the Trezor can't be hacked by a plugin on the browser. And the Trezor shows this address also. So I know, okay, this was the address I entered, and I can safely choose confirm.
So the Trezor is also displaying at the same time.
Yes, maybe you can take a picture.
But it's a very long address. Do you have to compare
it? It wraps it, yeah.
Okay, so
it's just a smaller font size. So it shows every level of the. You don't have to compare.
You just have to know if I like the last 4 digits are the same.
But the screen is like 6 lines or something. It's very tiny. I will. Oh, yeah.
And now this is, so if I were to send maybe 10 Bitcoins, then the Trezor would also say, you're about to send a very large transaction. Are you sure? For example. And now it says, it's like a second information that we also want this sent with this small fee. So I say confirm, payment is being sent, and I hope it will show up here. Normally we have this web-based. Okay, so what happened? Yesterday evening I sent money here, about 50 euros. Now I sent some money out of the wallet, and it said, okay, you sent 250. Well, it's in Bitcoin, so. If you use the Trezor for longer, you can when you see this, you can see your history of amounts in your wallet. I'm not selling this device. No, but no, it's a free service. So you pay for the device. So for Treasure, they have this site, and they have all the people also have Treasure sites, but they're earning on the hardware. So there's yeah. Well, it's open source. Everything's open source.
Yeah, but you can also use the Trezor on Mycelium on Android,
yeah,
for example.
I want to demo that. No, thank you. So, no. This is not. I wouldn't say this is not a very good demo, but here it is. So the 250 I sent from my wallet showed up in my web wallet. So now the money went from, well, not really, but it kind of went from this device to the wallet of our company. So that was part of the first part. Now, was this kind of clear? Why would you buy a wallet for 90 euros? Well, if you own one Bitcoin, well, I had this card 3 years ago with a private key on it and a public key. The private key was hidden, so I sent a quarter of Bitcoin to it, and I laid it in my room somewhere. And at that point, the Bitcoin was 100 euros. So I said, well, 25 euros on the card. But if I were to find that card now, it's somewhere. I know it's somewhere. It's almost 800 euros worth. So if you maybe buy half a Bitcoin now, and you forget about it, or I don't know, in 5 years, you don't know how much it's worth. So if you're planning on buying more than just a few euros in Bitcoin, like in your wallet, you would have a few hundred euros maybe, and start to feel uncomfortable. With Bitcoin, it's the same. And then, of course, you can also use it for Litecoin, Ethereum, Dash, C Classic. I don't know, and some tokens on Ethereum also. Yes?
First begin with my money, that's you store your points there, and you log on with your email address, your passwords, then you go to the hardware wallet. But the hardware wallet, it's just a device to store your password, your key.
Yes.
Because your bitcoins are still somewhere on the net.
Well, there's a difference. So if you have a wallet with Bitcoin money, we own the private keys that come with your account. So it's not just that the Bitcoins are always in the blockchain, as Henk said. It's just you own the private keys. If you have an account with us, we own the private keys to your Bitcoins. So we focus a lot on security, but I defend my own company, of course. But if you want to be, if you're going to invest other coins than Bitcoin or big amounts, it's always wise to know how to work with the hardware. But I mean, if you're in a few hundred euros, I don't know. It's not. I mean, you're not going to pay 90 euros to store 200 euros. I think. So that's a bit of a balance you see.
I know where you live, so.
Yes.
Say I support versus
They have firmware updates, which are done with the same interface. Then it says, oh, you can update your Trezor. I have not explained yet how to initialize it, and I don't think there's a lot of time for that, but I think about 2 or 3 times a year, at least. So, what will be?
Well, there are lots of tokens that are not supported.
Yes. Well, tokens, ERC20 are supported, as far as I know. But Monero not yet because of the ring signatures.
Will be supported on Ledger.
On Ledger, well. And I know that somebody rewrote the Tressor's hardware, firmware, but okay, that's a technical answer, but I'm not sure.
It's like hardware limitations and not all points are supported.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know. Could be.
Another question, Robert. You keep a lot of money on Bit My Money for your customers. I think you use Trezor also for that? Okay.
Yes. We have multiple hardware wallets. So if the money on our website, only less than 5% of all account money is available online. So it's like with a local branch of your bank, will not have all the money of all the customers in their phone. No. Yeah.
I think there are exchanges where it is everyone knows which area belongs to the company.
Yeah. Okay, we're kind of working on that, but we don't want to disclose how much money we own at this moment for other people, but we can kind of prove we own more than 95% on cold storage. We're working on something like that. So you can trust that my claim of less than 5% is at least true. So that's a bit, yeah? Yes. So all deposits to the hot wallet are not, are like, there's like one hot wallet. So not all your coins are available online. So if we move some of your coins to cold storage, then it's grouped with Bitcoin from other people. So we have two ledgers actually, one for your part and one with the blockchain. Only Bitcoin at the moment. Yeah. Also working on it. With small company. Oh yeah. Okay. So to wrap it up, to really do something fancy, well, I think it's fancy. Better leave my mobile somewhere. You can use the Trezor. I'm not sure if they also delivered it. I think I could check that when I bought it, they sell it also, yeah, for maybe €10 or something. So you can book up. So this is going to go blank in a minute. You can also, so if I go on holidays, for example, which I do now and then, and I might not want to bring my laptop, but I can always bring my mobile. And there's this nice Android, and also for iOS, I think. So it's called Mycelium, which is which is very good mobile wallet. I can choose for cold storage. So this is not going to show that they're nice, but prove that I came from. So I choose, here it says Trezor. You can't see anything. Convo will agree. And then I give access. Then it asks the same. So now you see on the left, almost empty. On the left it shows the shuffled pin keyboard. And on the right it shows the blank one. So I'll enter my year of birth. For demo it's safe. Device scanning. It says, okay, there's one account with 0.014, so it's twice €25. Take a look. Then say, okay, send from this wallet. Now, I'll scan the QR code. So this is, it should be feasible. I'm a cheaper, so I'll go for the economy 60 cents fee, and I'll send roughly, no, this is euros, €3. Okay, send them. then on my tracer it says again, hey, somebody's trying to send, well, you are trying to send, do you agree? Well, the address, so the person asking, these bottom two rows is the address. It's very small, but I can see, okay, it ends with GNH. GNH. So, okay, I believe it's the good address. Confirm, confirm. Transaction has been sent. That's my mobile. It's juggling, but. And then our hot wallet noticed €50 coming in. Well, there's no certain price of Bitcoin, so it can always vary a bit if you send it. So I think we use Bitcoin average, and maybe the wallet does too. So it's not never. You don't send 350. You send the Bitcoin. So it's an interpretation. Was that cool? Kind of. Maybe? Yeah. Yeah. And it was easy. Yeah. Oh, good point. So you get this card, and the first time you go to the treasure.io/start.
I'll repeat the question. What about backup? If you lose the treasure, €1 million of your customers.
Well, we have several treasures, several different locations. But the first time you use it, it's blank. So there's no private key in it. You have to initialize it, and then it says 24 words, which you have to write down or save in the password manager, which some people would probably suggest not to do, but it depends on how much money you're going to store. This should be in a safe somewhere. And then one very neat feature is that you can choose to go for 25 words, and the 25th word is not written down. It's in your head or in your colleague's head. And once you enter it, the 24 are the basis of the private key, and the 20 of the seed, and the 25th is custom. So this was too hard. Okay, never mind.
But so what happens when you lose your wallet?
Okay, so if I were to lose this one, I could not give away this one and enter the 24 words. I start again, enter the 24 words, and I have the same device.
Same Bitcoin.
Same Bitcoin, same amount, same transaction. Yeah.
Private key, it's quite long, right?
Yeah.
So these words are just like this binary.
Yeah, it's a kind of a protocol. No. So they're like, I don't know, 20,000 words, and you have 24 of them. So it's 20,000 to 24. It's huge. Yeah, but it's all coins use the same. All
wallets.
All wallets use the same. Yeah, it's not a Bitcoin specific something.
Does it work if they have more than one token of
Yeah.
It's only one code with 24.
Yeah, so you have the 24 words are the seed. So that's called in cryptography. It's the seed, which is the basis for all the addresses you will generate. And if you generate Ethereum addresses, it uses a different path on this tree of possibilities to generate your private key for Ethereum. So the private key for Ethereum is not the same as for Bitcoin, but the seed is the same. But then we're getting technical again, and I want to generate just that.
You have to make those keys in the treasure, or can import.
Okay, of course. If you have these 24 words, you can use any wallet that complies with the
39 standard.
30-something hierarchical deterministic wallets. So it's all protocols, open source, it's all standardized.
So you don't need a ledger to reinstall it, right? You can just use any wallet.
You can use any wallet.
Multiple.
Yeah. Okay. Any wallet that supports higher risk.
Yeah. All modern. HT. Auto.
Yeah, Auto.
Only the function there.
Yeah. It was the 25th word. So if you initialize it, you choose for the 25th word. Once you plug it in, it will ask you for the 25th word. So that's a neat feature. So I could say, well, if somebody is pointing a gun at me, I could say, my 25th word is oh my God. And then I would open the wallet and I set maybe 5 Bitcoins on oh my God wallet. And they would take the 5 Bitcoins and maybe leave me alive and leave me alone. But then if I were to use the other word, something more private, it would open a different wallet because the seed is different, and then there would be 1,000 Bitcoins.
Wow.
That's possible.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. I'll be around later if you have questions. So I'm not selling this, I'm just enthusiastic about it. Henk, did you get to some method of verloten?
Oh, not yet. No,
okay.
No.
Who's interested? Okay, so 20. I don't know. Help me out.
Oh.
I'm not doing that.
We think about something.
We'll think about something. Yeah. Stick to the end.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, our final presentation is from Hague.
Yeah. So I will start with a video.
Are we going on section?
Oh, but I need training.
Heb je mijn microfoon nodig?
Nee, ik heb beeld nodig. Ja, en de microfoon.
Hoe doen we die uit? Die eruit.
Zo. En dan daarna moet jij nog wat vertellen.
Vul ze maar in de
Oké, die kabel waar ik.
Ja. Aan de zon.
Ja. Well, we have screen.
Ja.
The current blockchain platforms are inspirational, but have design problems. They lack formal semantics, and as a result, they're slow, they don't scale, and they're unsafe for mission-critical applications. R-Chain is designed to solve these problems. The R-Chain platform is a transformation in blockchain technology that will empower users on the industry's first scalable and safe blockchain. Smart contracts are concurrent and formally verified on R-Chain, so they're fast, versatile, and secure. On R-Chain, smart contracts are written in Rolang, which is strongly typed, concurrent, and correct by construction. Rolang contracts run on the Rho virtual machine, a concurrent execution engine. RoVM allows your applications to achieve unprecedented speed and scalability. The R-Chain platform supports multiple blockchains, both public and private, even on the same node. And these blockchains can interact securely and predictably. The blockchains are secured by the type of consensus protocol the whole industry has been waiting for, proof of stake. Because the R-Chain platform enables more trust on the internet, it's a revolution. It enables innovators worldwide to create fast, scalable, and decentralized solutions, including new tamper-proof financial platforms, social networks, and other possibilities where every individual can finally own their own identity, reputation, and data. To learn more and see how R-Chain can help realize your vision for decentralized solutions, visit rchain.coop.
Okay. So, hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is a very interesting technology, but where I want to talk about is how you can work with this. Each of you can participate in this big project and earn the rock. It's the coin of the R-Chain. And it's very open. So if you have an idea that you can do something, you only need 3 people to share that idea. And then you set a budget, for example, $1,000. And then you can divide those $1,000 amongst the team. So it's a really interesting opening. And this is meant for people who want to invest time in this project instead of dollars. And currently there's a private sale going on, and there's already about $8 million coming in, and this is only for big investors, big whales. And you have to start with $50,000 and then you can participate. So we, the Arts and Cooperative is based in Washington State, in Seattle, and there the laws are very strict on money laundering and so, and securities and tax and etc. So here it's a bit more free because in Holland the Bitcoin is still not as a currency, but more as a thing that you can exchange for something else. And therefore, we opened a pool so you can invest for like 50 euros into this project. And then we come to an amount of $50,000. So I want to introduce Kit Blake. With him, I set up this pool and he will explain how it works. Are you ready, Kit?
Yes.
All right.
I should also say that we have a bit of inside information because we're directly involved with our chain playing along in the community, and we've become members of the cooperative, and we've also registered to join the private sale. And the private sale came about because the startup was busy and getting known, and investors started coming to them and saying, we would like to invest in your company. And each time they said, well, great, let's sit down and talk about it. And almost every time the investor said, well, we don't want to do a business angel seed investment. We know that you have tokens. We want to buy your tokens. And the answer was in the beginning, well, we're going to have an ICO later in 2018. And the investor said, well, can you do something now? And so eventually they came up with this idea for the private sale. And they're in the States. They're very worried about regulation. So the sale is only for accredited investors. And you have to prove that if you're in the States, but we're not. And they also have a minimum participation level of $50,000. So $50,000, that's a par peak. And we decided to set up a pool in order to participate. I registered with my company, and maybe you know that this meetup also has a Telegram group that is crypto null data. So, what? Yeah, that's true. It's not crypto, it's crypt 070, and we always have to remember to say that. So in that group, we made this announcement that we're going to set up this pool, and we created a private group just for the pool to not to spam it. And then we exchanged information, and we decided to do a blind pool. So we set up a wallet. People who want to participate, they send ETH to that wallet, but we don't know who they are. We know people have participated in the chat or something, but this is the discussion that goes on in the private channel. And if you're interested, you're welcome to join, but it has to be tonight. Because today is the last day of the private sale. So the deadline for the pool is literally midnight tonight. And the chat channel is here. We also have, can you go to Etherscan? We also have the wallet set up. So click on that Etherscan tab.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the wallet. So here you can see all the people who participated. These are the send addresses. So after we send the money to our chain, they will send rocks back to this wallet. We will send the rocks to these send addresses. So the send become return addresses. And we have a spreadsheet here, which is shared with everybody. that calculates the pro rata distribution.
And there's one thing, this is ongoing because people believe that we are honest, you know. So there's now about $40,000.
Yeah, 46 or something.
So Kit and I could say, well, it's nice of you, you know, we take it as is.
Yeah.
But of course, we don't do this without conflict, and so it's not very trustworthy, but everybody will get the rock. No problem.
And we also have a backup between the two of us. I have the private key to this wallet, but if I get hit by a bus tonight, he has the private key as well, so he can proceed with it. And the one other thing I wanted to say is this sort of setup where the company or the startup does a private sale before they actually do the ICO is becoming more and more common. And if you follow ICOs, maybe you know about Hydrominer, they're based in Austria. They're also doing a pre-sale, and guess what? 50,000 euros is the minimum to get involved. And so if we wanted to invest in the Hydrominer, we could also do something like this, which maintains the privacy of everybody. That's the way we want to keep it. The trust is based on people, but we are easy to find. You'll probably see us at the next meetup, or me in Rotterdam. So that trust is needed, but further, it all runs via the blockchain. So if you're interested, we have until midnight tonight to actually participate. And if you are interested, then contact me or Haye after the meeting. That concludes the presentation and the meetup, I believe.
Yeah.
No. Well, it's midnight for us is the deadline for the pool, and the deadline for the sale is 5 o'clock Pacific time, which is 1 o'clock UTC. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen, for our chambers. Thank you very much. It's not the end of this evening. We have applause. Thank you. We have 40 minutes left, and one thing I have the task of the treasurer. So, a very childish way, what's followed. We do a lottery. So, I don't know. I just start like that. We have written down a number. It's under 150, below 150, and more than 0. So you just shout the number, and if you guess the right number, you get the wallet. Literally. No, there are people behind you, sorry. Zo? Zo, dat mensen dan. Heb ik al geweest? Ja, ik ook. Maar zijn wel geweest. Heel al geweest.
Jullie zijn 17? 17?
Oh.
58. 42.
70.
Onder de 25.
En nieuwe informatie onder de 100. In deze place is onder de 100. Ja, sorry. Wacht eens maar.
Nou, dat zijn nu de
Andere handen.
onder de 25.
Dit ziet er niet uit.
Mogen we wat meer indicaties? Is het tussen de 100 of 200?
Onder de 100.
Onder de 100. Boven de 50?
69.
73.
Toen zijn die in trouwen.
Henk, jij bent nog niet geweest.
Onder de 50. Ja, je bedoelt al nieuwe informatie. Onder de 100. 150. Kom maar. 23.
18. 9.
Klaas.
20.
9. Nee, dat kan niet. Betel ik maar op.
Ik neem hem mee naar huis.
Laat het gewoon doen.
22.
Oké. Voordat we gaan naar de ruimtes gaan, ik wou graag weten. Waarom dit mijn money?
Ik weet niet wat ze zijn, maar hij zegt 47.
Op onze channel of op onze Meetup laten weten wat voor onderwerpen je graag zou zien dat we hier zou presenteren. Wij beseffen dat het vrij technisch is, omdat de meeste mensen hier al vrij lang met Bitcoin aan van zaken bezig zijn. Veel nieuwe gezichten te zien, dus misschien ook iets meer voordrachten voor beginners of zo. Als je dat zou willen zien, ik weet het niet, maar laat het weten alsjeblieft. Bedankt voor je komst naar de studio. Tot de volgende keer. En we zien elkaar bij de park. Dankjewel.